Hello and welcome to another episode of the Adrienne Ross Show where what? Sports and culture connect. I hope you're doing absolutely wonderfully today. And right now, I'm going to step into lawyer mode. You know how lawyers do sometimes. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, or Your Honor, I would like to submit to you something, right? I got to submit something to you today. I submit to you about the Indiana Fever of the WNBA. I submit to you, ladies and gentlemen, that organization is positioning itself to be the envy of the entire WNBA, to be the team that players want to be a part of. I submit that to you today, but as lawyers do, you don't submit something without the evidence. You've got Exhibit A, Exhibit B, or Exhibit 1, Exhibit 2. I'm going to go with the numerals. And I have 6.5 exhibits for you. Yeah, 6.5. 6.5 reasons why the Indiana Fever is positioned to be the envy of the WNBA. Not 6 reasons, not 7 reasons. I'm only giving you 6.5, although I'm sure there are more. So let's get to it. Reason number one that the Indiana Fever is positioned to be the envy of the WNBA is the franchise player, and that's Kaitlyn Clark. She's a generational talent. She's someone that people who want to score want to play with because she can get you the ball. She's someone, if you like other people scoring, she's someone you want to play for because she can knock down the shot. She's exciting. We saw in the All-Star game, remember the look on Jonquel Jones' face when CeCe delivered the pass she did to Aaliyah Boston? Like, what in the world? Yeah, Kaitlyn Clark is reason number one. And on top of the fact that she can assist and that she can score and that she does so, she plays the game in an exciting way, she's the hardest worker, I believe, in the WNBA. Her drive is without comparison. She's got the Kobe Bryant, the Michael Jordan drive. And if you want to win, you want to play with a player who is absolutely committed, not just during the season, but in the offseason to being the best. So that's reason number one, the most obvious reason, Kaitlyn Clark. Reason number two, the Indiana Fever is the most likable team in the WNBA. I mean, the team as we have known it. Of course, there are pieces and moving parts and all that are coming together. And of course, I'm going out on a limb, hoping that Kelsey Mitchell will be a part of that. But let's just say Kelsey Mitchell is going to stay in Indiana, which we'll find out pretty soon. But Kaitlyn Clark, Aaliyah, like, how do you not just love Aaliyah Boston? Even when we were criticizing her game early last season, even when we criticized her game sometimes during the season, because it can be like roller coaster at some points, you still, everybody had to say, oh, she's such a nice person. She's such a likable person. I have my unconventional awards. If you never watched the Adrienne Ross Show 2024 Unconventional Awards, then you missed it. I made a playlist out of it, so you should go back. Be prepared to laugh. But one of the serious things was that the Indiana Fever is the most likable team. And if I got to play basketball with you, if I got to sweat with you, travel with you, shower next to you, all that stuff in the locker room, I want some people that are likable. I see that in the Indiana Fever. I see that even in Erica Wheeler. I don't know if she's staying. I don't know if she's going. I don't know what the deal is, but she's a great teammate. even though we were complaining about Katie Lou Samuelson. I just like her. This is a likable team. It's a team without all that drama. The biggest drama, of course, was how Kaitlyn Clark was treated and the whole situation with Christy Sides. But other than that, you didn't see a lot of the drama and the stuff that we see in the WNBA. This is the most likable team. That's reason number 2 why the Indiana Fever is positioned to be the envy and the team that people want to play for. Number 3, coaching staff. Look at the head coach, Stephanie White. Stephanie White has known Kaitlyn Clark since she was in 8th grade. Stephanie White has been watching her. Stephanie White knows how they play in junior high school, how they play in high school. She called games for Kaitlyn in college. She obviously knows the WNBA, and she's highly regarded as a great WNBA coach, and she calls NBA games. So Stephanie White, reason number 3, and she brought in a staff that's going to help get the job done. Keith Porter, the what we were able to see, his workout with Kaitlyn, his workout with Aaliyah Boston. And what about the stuff we don't get to see? Because you can't put all your stuff out there for everybody to see. But the stuff we saw, impressive. And he wants to be there. He left everything in Connecticut, all he ever knew, so he could come to Indiana, he said, because Kaitlyn Clark and this team. So yeah, who doesn't want a top-notch coaching staff? The envy of the WNBA, I say. Number 4, management. They have a new GM. They have a new president. The management of this team says to me, we are willing to do what we have to do to make this a winning franchise. A lot of people talk about it. They said, we're going to do it. They said, we're going to have to make changes. Let's make them their changes. Okay? Christy Sides. I told you guys, Christy Sides was going to go. I told you, you're not going to change stuff at the top and leave the coach there. And that's not easy to do, because there are people who are saying, well, they made it to the playoffs. They hadn't made it. They have a 500 record. She did the best she could. She should have another shot and all that. And those are hard things, but they demonstrated that they are committed to winning, and that if you have to say thank you, but this isn't your time right now, we appreciate what you've done, you just got to make those tough decisions. And you can talk the talk, but I see from management, they are willing to walk the walk. That's number 4. Not everybody's willing to do that. Number 5, I told you there are 6.5 reasons that the Indiana Fever is positioned to be the envy of the WNBA, and that team that people want to get to. Number 5, packed arenas. Packed arenas. People want to play in front of people. Now, when you love the game, as we've seen in the WNBA for nearly 3 decades, you come to play anyway. And that's one of the things I've always said about women's sports. They have played, they have worked hard, even when they don't have the accolades that men have. But I'm telling you, you want people in the arena. And wherever the Indiana Fever plays, people show up. At home, at away, it's packed with cheering fans. So much so that people from other teams, they're charging an arm and a leg, because they know when they play Indiana, people are going to show up. And so, we talked about the whole Minnesota Lynx thing. So they can charge an arm and a leg for those tickets. And people have complained that I look in my arena and I see more Indiana Fever jerseys than I see my own team. Remember Satu Sabali talking about that out in Dallas? Packed arenas. Satu Sabali needs to remember that, as there's some decisions she has to make. So that's number 5. Number 6, this is a team, the team that's likable, the team that has Kaitlyn Clark, the team that has the franchise player, the team that has quality coaching and management. The team is made up of players who are young, with some exceptions. If Erica Wheeler stays, obviously she's not young. But when you think about Kelsey Mitchell, who's, not a 22-year-old, but she's got youthfulness. She's got energy. She had the best season of her career playing with Kaitlyn Clark. Kaitlyn obviously was only 22, soon to be 23. So you've got Kaitlyn, you've got Aaliyah Boston, who's just a year ahead of Kaitlyn Clark in terms of years in the WNBA, and Grace Berger. She should be. I did a whole video about how she could be the backup. Will Grace Berger get a chance to cook? But this team has youthfulness, has energy. Yeah, you can play faster that way, which is the strength of this team. It's not like being when Stephanie White was in Connecticut, where you had to play a slower form of the game because you got Alyssa Thomas and you got Bonner. So DeWanna Bonner and Alyssa Thomas can't get up and down the court like Kaitlyn Clark and Aaliyah Boston, because I believe Aaliyah Boston is going to come in shape this year, and we bringing it. I say we like I'm on the court. Hey, where are my sneakers? Put me out there, coach. They're bringing it. So that's number 6. Now, 6.5, because some of you thought that right away I was going to talk about the plans for the new sports performance facility. I'd already planned to do this video before I saw that. So that's my 6.5, because I'm going to deal with that separately in a separate video, but I don't want to leave it out because the envy of the WNBA. Look at that facility. But that's in a half, like I said, because I'm going to do a separate video, but it's also a half because without the other things, what does it matter? People want to go and be a part of a franchise. People have their eyes fixed looking at a franchise where you've got star talent, you've got energy, youthfulness, you've got a management that cares, you've got a coach and a coaching staff who know what they're doing. You want a likable team, all those things. You want the packed arenas, all of that. More important than the facility. Everybody wants a nice facility, right? And again, I'll do a separate video on that, but those other things are more important. So I'll give that a 6.5, but it is really cool. So we'll talk about that. But what am I leaving out? What do you agree with? I gave you 6.5 reasons the Indiana Fever is positioned to be the envy of the WNBA, and I believe a team that players want to play for. What are your thoughts? Let us know in the comments. Hit the subscribe button, like, share. I'll catch you next time, God willing. God bless you abundantly.